Good morning. John Ludi here. JOHNLUDI.com. And I decided to title this bit, The Hard Life of John Ludi. Because it isn't. Right now it's a bit of a cold life, but that's just because I'm an idiot and I'm sitting out here in the frozen Wisconsin tundra talking to you like this. But it's kind of funny. I've had a lot of conversations with people about the life that I'm leading out here. And a lot of people have been, as in last night, actually. Old dear friend of mine from a band that I used to be in the 80s called me up last night. And he asked me, are you still in the yurt? And I kind of ran down everything that's gone on since I moved out here. And like a lot of people, seem to be impressed by the notion of I'm out here roughing it. And I kind of wanted to dispel a few things. This is not a hard life, quite frankly. You know what a hard life was? Hard life was Chicago, all right? Prior to coming out here, I was living in Chicago in a condo in the old Irving Park neighborhood. And my last actual job was in Carroll Stream, 30 miles out from Chicago, one way. So doing that twice a day in Chicago traffic, rush hour traffic, sitting at a desk, generally speaking, for 9 hours a day. So, with the commute, make that anywhere from an 11 to 12-hour day for not great money. By the time I would get home, I would be just practically apoplectic. And, of course, because I don't feel that sharing such things with other people is warranted or considerate, I would just kind of bottle all that up and just, internalize all that stress. That was a hard life. This is not a hard life. This is... All right, let's say that I didn't have a social life out here. And let's say that I wasn't working on music. And let's say that I wasn't trying to start a business. Let's say that I hadn't made certain interesting but unpleasant missteps in my personal life, as I am wont to do on occasion. Let's say that I came out here and I just decided to totally hermit out and live as simply as possible. Well, what are my necessities? Let's start from that base point. Necessities. Well, shelter. Got that done with the yurt that you can't see behind the camera. Water. Well, down that way about 60, 70 feet is a stream. I bought a piece of property with a stream on it. And in theory, every morning I go out there with about 3 of these, because that's my daily water usage. About 3 of these things. Fill them up, stick them in the sun, let the sun destroy the pathogens in it, and then feed them through a $16 gravity filter. Water, covered. Food, well, I've got food. And while the grid and civilization still exist, I can basically work a part-time job, a couple shifts a week, and more than cover expenses for basic necessities out here in food. So, food, not a problem. What else? Clothing? I've got that. So what else do I need? What else do you need? Well, really, basically, very little. So life out here, oh my God, he's roughing it. Well, let's see, I've got a bunch of wood behind me. Some of it I bought from an Amish guy. But some of it I chop myself. Nice exercise, really. Half hour to an hour a day. Go out there with a maul, chainsaw. Makes you kind of taut and buff if you're, physically into that kind of thing. Hey, it's great. So, firewood for the winter. Not hard and purely optional. If you want to shell out a few $100 for a few cords of wood, you can do that too. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. Now, caveat, and full disclosure, because I feel that I don't want to be hypocritical, and I'm not a big fan of hypocrisy, mine or other people's. Did I do this on my own? That's another question that's come up. Not really. The basic setup that I had out here, a little bit of background. I came from a poor environment in Detroit: welfare, food stamps, abusive, drunken, single parent, yada yada yada, all the usual crap. So the poverty meme was kind of set into my brain, and I was fortunately over time able to kind of take care of a certain amount of that and amass a decent chunk of change, more than enough to buy the 3 acres that I have out here, the yurt that I've put on the 3 acres, and the shed, and all the transportation and building materials for everything. So I could have done that and had money left over. Didn't do that because, well, I came from a poor background and I'm frugal and paranoid. But I knew that hovering on the horizon was a small but pleasant inheritance. So when that kicked in, because I was debt-free and because I was beholden to no one, I was able to do this. So there it is, full disclosure. Now, does that mean because of my good fortune you couldn't do this? Oh, John Ludi was able to do this because he got money from a dead guy. Well, no. Because the equivalent of what I paid for this property and everything on it is basically what a regular person with a regular job would pay for a low to moderately priced new car or a fairly expensive used one. So if you are in that fortunate position, as those fortunate positions are evaporating rapidly these days, but if you are in that, your outlay for this, if you're going to buy a new car, just buy a used one and invest in some land. It's doable. And do this while you still have the means and ability to do so, because I can guarantee at some point in time, it could be a week, a month, a year, a decade from now, but at some point in time, that land may be worth more to you than that car. Think about it. So I guess that's really what I had to say. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time doing this, but I've had so many friends of mine, put it out to me that I'm really doing something incredibly hard, and I'm sweating blood every day, and I'm doing the labor equivalent of flagellating myself with a cat o' nine tails for 8 hours. Not happening. I mean, really, if I wasn't so involved and I wasn't going this place and that and developing friendships and doing all kinds of things, this would be no big deal. So that's it. Hate to crush any illusions, but this is easy, folks, and you can do it.